Men, I want you to listen carefully. There's a silent pain that many husbands carry in their hearts, but few dare to speak about. It's that haunting question that keeps you awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering, has the woman I love given herself to another man? Infidelity is not just about the body. It's about betrayal of trust, the shattering of dreams, and the slow erosion of your spirit. When the person you vowed to spend your life with breaks that bond, it leaves scars deeper than words can describe. And many men, especially strong men, high-value men, suffer in silence. They keep smiling on the outside, but inside, they're bleeding. You see, love is not blind. It's not deaf. It sees. It hears. It feels. And when something shifts in your marriage, when loyalty is replaced by distance, you can sense it, like a shadow that never leaves your side. But here's the truth: ignoring the signs doesn't protect you. Denial doesn't heal you. As a man, you must stand in reality, not fantasy. And today, I'm going to share 7 unmistakable signs that could mean your wife has crossed a line. Not to break you, but to prepare you. Not to make you bitter you, but to make you wiser, stronger, and more grounded in who you are. Because the truth, no matter how painful, will always set you free. One of the first and most painful signs a man notices when his wife has given herself to another man is emotional distance. And I'm not talking about a bad day or a stressful week at work. I'm talking about a shift so deep that you can feel it in your bones. Think about how it was in the beginning. She used to light up when you walked into the room. Her laughter was effortless, her stories were long, and she wanted to share every detail of her day with you. Your presence was enough to spark joy in her. But now, you feel like a stranger in your own home. Conversations are short, smiles are forced, and silence becomes louder than words. This is not by accident. You see, when a woman gives her emotional energy to another man, she no longer has the same space for you. She invests her heart elsewhere, and what's left for you are the scraps. You might notice that she no longer seeks your advice, no longer cares about your opinions, and no longer includes you in her dreams or struggles. Her phone becomes her comforter. Social media becomes her escape. And you, the man who once held her soul, become an afterthought. Emotional distance is often the first betrayal before the physical act ever happens. Because before a woman sleeps with another man, she usually feels with him first. She shares her secrets, her frustrations, her laughter, and her vulnerable side with him. By the time she lays in his bed, she has already left you in her heart. The danger is, many men ignore this. They chalk it up to women just being women. They assume she's just stressed or tired. But brother, stress doesn't erase love. Tiredness doesn't kill curiosity about your day. Emotional distance is not random. It is intentional. It is the clearest signal that her soul is no longer with you. And this is why you must pay attention, not to panic, not to accuse, but to face the truth. If her heart has left, you cannot force it back. Emotional distance is not a mood. It's a message. A painful message that something has shifted and that you as a man must decide whether to confront it or continue to live in denial. Because pretending not to see will only hurt you more in the end. When a woman's heart and body begin to wander, her behavior doesn't just change in public. It changes in the little things, the things you once took for granted. And one of the clearest signs, secrecy. In the early days, her life was an open book to you. She would leave her phone on the couch, unlocked, without a second thought. She shared her passwords, let you pick up her calls, even asked you to help her send a quick reply. Why? Because there was nothing to hide. Transparency was natural, but now something feels different. Suddenly, her phone is always face down. She takes it with her into the bathroom, into the kitchen, even into the shower. When a notification comes in, her eyes dart to the screen faster than you can blink. And if you ask a simple question like, "Who was that?" she becomes defensive, dismissive, or even angry. Secrecy is the oxygen of betrayal. Affairs survive because they live in the dark. And the moment you notice her pulling away, guarding her phone, changing her passwords, or creating private spaces, you're no longer welcome in. That's not random. That's deliberate. Men, here's what you need to understand. Loyalty is open, disloyalty is hidden. A faithful wife has nothing to cover up. She can laugh with her friends, take calls in your presence, and tell you where she's going without hesitation. But a wife who is crossing boundaries will build walls. She will create privacy where none existed before. Sometimes it's not just the phone. It's the computer, the social media accounts, the sudden need for personal space. She might even accuse you of being controlling just for asking. That defensiveness isn't about your question, it's about her guilt. She knows if you see what she's been hiding, the truth will burn through the fragile walls of lies she's built. And here's the painful part: secrecy doesn't just protect her, it punishes you. It makes you second guess yourself. You start wondering if you're paranoid, if you're insecure, if you're losing your mind. But brother, understand this: your instincts are not crazy. When secrecy becomes the new normal, it's not you, it's her. Because love doesn't hide, loyalty doesn't lock you out, and secrecy is often the shadow of betrayal. One of the most telling signs that your wife may have given herself to another man is the change in physical intimacy. And let me make this clear: intimacy is not just about sex. It's about touch, closeness, affection, and the way her body responds to yours. In a healthy marriage, intimacy flows naturally. It doesn't mean it's always perfect, but there's a rhythm. A simple hug feels genuine. A kiss carries warmth. When you hold her, she melts into your arms because her body trusts you. But when betrayal creeps in, that rhythm is broken. The body doesn't lie. For some men, the first sign is a sudden withdrawal. She no longer wants to be touched. She makes excuses. I'm tired. I have a headache. Not tonight. What used to be a natural expression of love now feels like a chore to her. The bed grows colder, the hugs shorter, the kisses emptier. It feels like you're living with a roommate, not a wife. But for other men, the opposite happens. She suddenly becomes overly sexual, introducing new moves, new desires, new energy you've never seen before. At first, you might feel flattered, thinking she's finally reigniting the spark. But brother, you must ask yourself, where did this sudden inspiration come from? Passion doesn't just appear out of thin air. Sometimes, she's bringing into your bedroom what she's been practicing somewhere else. Both extremes, withdrawal or sudden intensity, can point to the same painful truth: her body is no longer exclusively yours. And here's where it cuts even deeper. Intimacy is not just physical, it's spiritual. When a woman shares herself with another man, her energy shifts. Even when she's with you, she feels distant. You can sense it in the way she avoids eye contact after intimacy. You can feel it in the way she turns her back on you at night. Her body may be beside you, but her soul is far away. The tragedy is many men ignore these signs because they're too afraid of what they mean. But denial won't protect you. A change in physical intimacy is not random. It's a message. And you, as a man, must have the courage to see it for what it truly is. Because the body always reveals what the lips refuse to confess. One of the clearest signs that something is wrong in your marriage is when your wife's schedule begins to look suspicious. Every husband knows his wife's patterns. When she leaves, when she comes home, what her day usually looks like. But when betrayal creeps in, those patterns suddenly shift and you begin to notice unexplained time gaps. She starts working late nights that were never part of her job before. She has new friends or colleague you've never met. She takes extra long trips to the store, late night gym sessions, or errands that somehow stretch into hours. And when she comes back, her explanations feel vague, incomplete, or rehearsed. This is not just about business. Every adult gets busy. But when a woman is truly committed to her man, she accounts for her time. She communicates. She lets you know where she is, not because you demand it, but because respect makes her transparent. A faithful wife has nothing to hide. But when she's seeing another man, she needs space. She needs windows of time where she can disappear without you questioning. And so she creates excuses. Some of them sound reasonable, some sound ridiculous, but all of them leave you with the same uneasy feeling in your gut. Something isn't adding up. You see, affairs thrive in silence. They need time away from the eyes of loyalty. And if you pay attention, you'll notice the patterns, gaps that don't make sense, trips that don't line up, stories that shift when you ask again. Even her appearance may change during these gaps. She comes home looking refreshed, too cheerful for a stressful day, or sometimes guilty, avoiding your eyes as if her spirit is carrying a weight. Men, this is where many husbands go blind. They want to believe her. They want to silence their own instincts. But the truth is, your gut often sees what your heart refuses to accept. Unexplained time gaps are not just innocent coincidences. They are windows into a double life. And the longer you ignore them, the longer you allow another man to occupy time and space that should belong only to you. Because in marriage, time is loyalty, and if her hours are spent elsewhere, chances are so is her heart. Another painful sign that your wife may have been unfaithful is the sudden rise of defensiveness and blame. And this one cuts deep because it turns the tables on you, making you feel like the enemy in your own home. In the early stages of love, questions were welcome. You could ask her where she was, who she was with, or how her day went, and she answered freely, sometimes even with excitement. But when betrayal enters the picture, even the simplest questions feel like daggers to her. Why are you asking me that? Don't you trust me? You're so controlling! Suddenly, your natural curiosity as a husband is twisted into an accusation. This is what guilt does. Instead of honesty, she builds a wall. Instead of reassurance, she attacks. Her defensiveness is not about you. It's about her conscience. Because deep down, she knows she has crossed a line, and every question you ask feels like a spotlight on her secret. And so she uses blame as a shield. She starts flipping the script. If she's distant, she says you're the one who changed. If she's hiding things, she accuses you of being insecure. If she's cold, she tells you that you don't put in effort anymore. Slowly, you start to feel like you're the problem, even though the truth is, she's the one breaking the vows. Men, this tactic is not random. It's psychological warfare. A guilty heart will try to silence suspicion by making you doubt yourself. It's called projection. She throws onto you the very thing she's guilty of. And if you're not careful, you'll begin to believe her. You'll start apologizing for problems you didn't create, carrying a guilt that isn't yours to bear. But here's the truth: love doesn't fear questions. A faithful wife is open. She doesn't need to get angry when you ask where she's been. She doesn't need to attack you for wanting reassurance. Openness is the language of loyalty. Defensiveness is the mask of betrayal. So when your wife grows combative at the simplest concerns, when every conversation feels like a fight, understand this: she's not protecting her innocence. She's protecting her secret. Because the guilty don't defend truth. They defend lies. A powerful but often overlooked sign that your wife may have given herself to another man is the sudden loss of future talk. And men, this one is subtle, but it's devastating. Think about it. In a committed marriage, the future is always a part of the conversation. She'll talk about next summer's vacation, about saving for a home upgrade, about the kids' education, about retirement, even about what color to paint the living room next year. Future talk is the language of a woman who sees her life intertwined with yours. It's her way of saying, I see us together. I'm building with you. But when betrayal enters her heart, the future disappears. She stops dreaming out loud with you. Plans become vague. Long-term goals are replaced with short-term excuses. Suddenly, every conversation is about today, not tomorrow. And when you bring up the future, where to live, what to invest in, what to do next year, she avoids it. She shrugs, changes the subject, or says, let's not talk about that right now. Why? Because a woman who is emotionally or physically invested in another man is no longer building her life with you. She's mentally building it elsewhere. The energy that once went into dreaming with you is now being redirected into fantasies with someone else. This hurts men the most because it strips them of hope. You begin to feel like you're the only one holding the vision of your marriage together, dragging the future forward while she quietly lets go. And it's not just silence, it's detachment. She doesn't argue about the future anymore because in her heart, she's already checked out. Men, pay close attention to this. When a woman's love is alive, she plans, she dreams. She imagines the life ahead with you in it. But when her loyalty dies, so does her vision for the two of you. It's not about being busy. It's not about stress. It's about misalignment of the heart. The absence of future talk is not random. It's a sign that she's no longer building with you. And if she's not building with you, she may very well be building with someone else. Because the future is not silent. If she no longer speaks it with you, trust me, she's whispering it with another.